Welcome back to this week's episode of Live from My Parents' Basement. I sat down with my good friend Hugh Pebworth this week to talk about baseball, politics, a little bit of NBA, surprising amount of beard growth / beard color / just hair color in general. It's a little long this week, I'm sorry for that, but me and Hugh tend to talk a lot when we get together, so I hope that's alright. Thanks for watching.
I've been growing it out for a bit now.
No, it's
Dude, what the? Your hair looks fucking nuts.
yeah, well, yeah. I was growing it out anyway, but I guess you haven't seen me for 3 months, so yeah, it's.
Nope, dude. I haven't had a clean shave since March 21st, and I haven't had a haircut since Valentine's Day.
Wow. I haven't had a haircut since Christmas break. And I don't know. See, the first podcast I did with my friend, my beard was longer, but it makes my face look too round, so I was like, I can't go that long anymore. I gotta trim it back.
Yeah, my birthday's in like 3 weeks, so I'm gonna get a driver's license then. So I'm gonna get a haircut before then, like shave my beard. But my big debate is like how to shave it, because I kind of want to cut some weird shit into it.
I like how.
So, like, I want to like shave the sides and then like do like the pirate look where you have like the mustache. So here's my dilemma: either I do full porn stash where I go like that, or I do like the pirate look where they have like the mustache that it's like almost like a Van Dyke, and then I just want to have like a Burt Reynolds mustache.
Yeah.
But I'm also debating like it's long enough where I can like curl the ends with like paste of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And then like obviously the final step is like always like the Hitler stage.
See, when I'm an old man, I'm getting that beard to where it's like a mutton chops into a mustache and nothing here, like a Civil War general. That is like my favorite. I can't do it now because I look like an idiot. But when I'm an old man, that is all I'm wearing is that Civil War beard. And yours is nice because it like, I don't know if you've been shaving it this way, but it like comes down like to a point or something almost.
Yeah, I've been trimming like here, and I've trimmed it a couple times. It's just like it's hard. It's the first time I ever like grown a beard. It's kind of hard. I've just been taking like basically like cosmetic scissors to it. But the thing is that like I had to get my hair cut. Like I like really long like sideburns, and they just kind of grow into like the beard. So like when I get it cut, in order to not look like an absolute idiot when I get my hair cut, I have to like figure out where to like shave.
Yeah.
Because like they like flow right into the beard. It kind of looks like a little. My dad keeps calling me a '70s intellectual.
You look like George Lucas, hot off of like American Graffiti.
Yeah.
See, like,
I thought it was gonna be itchy, but like honestly, it wasn't at all. It's just more of like shit getting stuck in it. Like when you drink water, you get like water droplets like in here and there. That's kind of annoying.
yeah, I've had facial hair like this since I was 15, and I can't stand having a clean shave. Like the most I'll do is like stubble with a mustache. That's as low as I will go. But it's never itchy. It's just you don't even
It's not.
You don't even notice it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I ever did this long term, I'd have to dye it because my video quality is really shitty. I don't know why. This computer is like not that old. It's like 4 years old. The video quality is just dog shit for whatever reason. Anyway, you can't really tell, but like the mustache and like here, it's like kind of like the color of your hair almost, with like bits of red in it.
Yeah.
And like here and here is like the color of my hair, like really dark brown. So if I ever like did it long term, I'd have to like dye it, I think, because it looked kind of weird.
Yeah, it's odd because I know 3 people that have like dark to black hair and they have red.
It's what it is it means that you have a recessive red hair genes that aren't being expressed in your hair, but like are coming out in your beard. Like my grandma's a redhead. My dad has like red facial hair whenever he has facial hair. But I had to look that up because I literally like when I started getting long, I was like, holy fuck, that's not even like red brown. That's just like red. Yeah. Like what is this?
Like my hair when I was younger, like three or four, it was like very blonde. Then it darkened up, and it has like a reddish tint to it. And then like through here, it's reddish brown. Then my mustache is straight blonde. And it makes me mad. Like yours is good because it's dark, so it shows up well. But at least I can grow a beard. But
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the dark hair, like there's a couple spots where it's like not as full as I would like it on the sides, where like because it's darker, because it gets like longer, it like covers it up. But I mean, yeah, dude, my hair used to be like I used to have like streaks of blonde, especially in the summer, where it'd be at least a lot lighter. But mom was mentioning that like once your hair gets longer, that like shows like the true color of your hair, and like it just got like completely dark. It's rare that happens though, because my brother is like 4.5 years younger than me. He looked like a rotten cantaloupe as a baby. He was disgusting. He had like no hair. Then he looked like a Hitler Youth toddler. He's like really blonde hair, like blue eyes, like could have been on like their fucking propaganda posters.
yeah,
And like then his hair just went like completely brown, like not as dark as mine, but like kind of your level after age like 5.
it's odd. Like hair is so weird in that way because my mom is like my mom's considered a redhead, but her hair more like when I think of a redhead, I think of like Ron Weasley red, like the fiery red. But my mom has like red hair that mainly looks brown, and then if you go out in sunlight, it looks red. So it's just I don't know. It's weird how
Dude,
people.
go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, that was it. It's just odd, like because some people say my hair is red, some people say it's brown, some people say it's blonde. It's odd. It's almost.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say you can like almost say that your hair looks like a bit red, because like my grandma's hair is like you like look at her and you'd be like, if I told you she had red hair, you'd be like, yeah. If I told you she had like brown hair, like looked like it was red, you'd be like, yeah. But like I feel like that's what a lot of people like fall into. We're like, I don't know what ginger is supposed to be because it's kind of a dirty word now, but like the red brown is more common than people think.
I'd say it's probably more common than just straight up brown hair. Because I've always thought I've had brown hair, and then my mom or whoever was like, "Well, no, your friend like Isaac had brown hair. Like my friend, he's been on this. He has brown hair, but it's like really dark brown hair." And I'm like, "No, I just odd what's considered what, like you said."
Dude, the bigger difference is between like black hair and dark brown hair.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I have dark brown hair. I don't have black hair. I know one of my friends that like has like black hair. It's interesting though. I was looking this up earlier. Do you know what town has the highest percentage of redheads in the world?
I guess Ireland or Scotland. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Edinburgh, Scotland. It's like 10%. And like I think the country with the highest per capita is Ireland, and it's like 8%, which is just kind of nuts to me thinking about how many people with red hair that would be. But it also shows you like exactly where like the Vikings went, because like my grandma she is half Swedish and she's Irish, so she's a redhead. But like literally, redheads it's like Scandinavia, Great Britain, and Ireland, and then like maybe a couple other places. But it's literally like just exactly where like the Vikings went.
Yeah, like my friend, he has like his dad is Egyptian and his mom is white. Like his dad's from Egypt, and he has really dark hair. But then, and it's long and curly, just like mine. But like he goes outside, his hair is black. Sun hits it. It has a red tint. I'm like, what? It's the weirdest.
There's some like weird like red hair stuff in the Middle East, like Afghanistan. There's different hair types, like depending on like race. Like if you're white, I think there's like straight hair, like wavy hair, curly hair, and like if you're black, like there's like the actual like hair itself is just different. And so I think there's like some stuff in between that in the Middle East, where like you'll see like pictures of like people like the Mujahideen in Afghanistan, where like they have like red hair.
Yeah.
And it's like, so yeah, I think there's like multiple concentrations of it in the world. Like the one in Europe is the most well known, but like there's definitely like other parts of it. It's just interesting how that stuff works though. Yeah. Like you can so much stuff, at least among like white people, is tracked completely on like geographic distribution in Europe. Like based on like specific like traits, you can tell like where they're from. Like people with blue eyes and dark hair, like myself, are probably from Northern Europe. People with red hair from Northern Europe. If you have like dark skin, like if you have like olive skin, dark eyes, dark hair, you're probably from the Mediterranean. Like blonde hair is northern part of Europe. It's interesting how much that stuff like tracks geography.
It's like, I think I'm probably wrong, but I think all members of my immediate, like my brothers and sisters, mom and dad, all have blue eyes or blue gray eyes. And like my dad's blonde or was blonde, like sort of like my hair, like a dirty blonde color almost, but his didn't have red in it. My mom's redhead with blue eyes. And I know my mom's side is from Scotland. And then my dad, he's like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. He's guessed German, French, or Scottish, and they just don't know. I don't care.
Dude, it's interesting. You know what the two most undercounted like ethnic groups are in the United States?
Are they?
It's British and Scotch Irish.
I have
Like anyone who tells you that they're Irish, that means they're Catholic. Like I'm Irish, and like I'm specifically referring to like the Celtic Irish, but like there's so many like Ulster Scots that ended up in the United States. Like this, I think the ratio of presidents is there's one Catholic president, JFK, and maybe two with Biden, and there's like 30 Scotch Irish presidents.
Oh, okay. This is sort of on topic. When watching Goodfellas, do you ever buy that Robert De Niro is playing an Irish man?
Is playing Irish what?
Like in Goodfellas, Robert De Niro plays Jim,
Oh,
and he's supposed to be the Irish guy. That's
I
hard.
mean,
This maybe
he's been an Irish guy in like the last like 3 movies. Like he's an Irish guy in The Irishman. He's an Irish guy in Goodfellas. Like
look at him and all the other movies he's been in and think, yeah, he's Irish. I'm like, well, no, he's also Vito Corleone. So I guess it's hard for me to buy because of that.
No, I know for The Irishman they had to change his eye color. I think he has brown eyes. They had to change him to blue. Yeah, I mean it's hard to be like Robert De Niro and be like, oh yes, what county in Ireland is that from?
Exactly. I'm like, that's odd. That's odd.
It's not like his name is like Sean Patrick O'Malley.
It's Robert De Niro. It's like the most New York, most Italian American name you can think of. Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, stuff like that.
Yeah, like, and plus like they keep playing the same guys.
Yeah.
Like not literally the same guys, but like they basically invented like them with Scorsese. Like they just invented the like gangster film genre, or like have like exploded it. There's interesting talking about like the blue eye stuff. I ever tell you this? So my parents have brown eyes. They're both left-handed. Me, my brother, and my sister, we're all right-handed and blue eyes. And so the only people in our fathers so just completely like yeeted like a whole generation. It's interesting, like thinking about like recessive genes like that though, like how those kind of like come in and out.
That is interesting. Have you seen Serpico from the 70s?
No, I don't think so.
It's Al Pacino. He's fresh off of Godfather 1. It's fantastic. I loved it. He plays like this cop who is undercover in the New York Police Department, but he's not like undercover with like in a crack house. He's like undercover trying to expose corruption. Fantastic. Love that movie. I'd highly recommend it.
I'll have to look that up. At first I thought you were talking about the Serbian film and I was like, I've not seen that.
No. Oh man. I'm still embarrassed that I showed you that in the folder of Wells Library.
It's fucking weird. It's a weird movie. Like just reading the Wikipedia on it, like I'm not sure I would want my name on that where it says like executive produced by. Like,
that's bad. Oh man.
I don't know. What was I thinking? I mean, go ahead.
You excited for the NBA to come back next month?
Yeah, I am. When does it come back? Is it the 31st or does it come back before then?
So the season starts the 31st. There's 22 teams. So the 16 playoffs teams, like 8 seed might be fighting. And then then they pick 6 teams that were within 6 games of being an 8th seed. So that's 5. It was 5 teams from the West and just the Wizards from the East. And then they'll play 8 regular season games. And then they'll start the playoffs. And if it goes too long, NBA Finals is expected to be October. Like Game 7 of the Finals is supposed to be October 12th, but it could be earlier. And then a tentative start date for the next season is December 1st. And I think that's pretty good because they've had all this time off since March. And then they'll have another extra month or so off before the season starts up.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I'm kind of glad they're not like making like the fucking Knicks go out there and like the Bulls play. Dude, if I was in the Bulls, I'd be fucking pissed. If I was Zach LaVine, I'd be like, God damn, you're gonna maybe drop 40 points for us to have like get our ass kicked on national TV when nothing else is happening for games that don't matter, dick.
Yeah.
But have you seen the Pacers schedule? I think we play it's like Sixers, Heat, and I know we end with the Clippers and the Lakers. But in between, there's a couple winnable games. There's like Magic, Suns, Kings, and there's one more that's there's like a legit scenario where like if we lost all like the good teams, quote unquote, and we beat all the bad teams, we go 4-4. But I feel like we could beat the Sixers and maybe the Heat.
I think we can beat the Heat. I definitely think
And
I don't have any stock in the Sixers. I have no stock in them. I think they can.
Sixers, no, they keep underperforming. Like it's kind of cliched now. Like I don't know who they're going to add to that team.
I don't know. It has to be egos because they have so many good players on that team. But it's either like beating teams by 40 or getting beat by the Knicks by 30. It's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. I mean, I guess the hope is also like the Lakers and the Clippers have like locked up the 1 and 2 seeds by the time we play them, so they just like don't play anyone, and we can like get 2 easy wins and like
The only
move up schedule wise.
like my friend was saying like, oh yeah, man, like he's going like, hey, like Pacers can get the 4th seed. I'm like, I mean, you get home court advantage, but you're still playing the Heat, so I'm like, it's whatever.
I mean, yeah, the real finesse would be to get to the 3 seed. If like the Heat implode and stay between 4 and 5, and the Sixers stay at 6, that'd be the real finesse.
Who'd we be playing?
We'd be playing with Sixers. If I had to pick a team to play, I think I'd pick the Sixers.
I think we could.
I'd probably pick. The teams that I would really. Well, first off, don't want to play the Bucks.
I think we
Don't really want to play the Heat, but I think we can. If we fucking lose to a team in the first round in 7 games, I'm gonna shoot my head out. But I think we can beat the Sixers straight up. I think
we could.
I think we can beat the Raptors, but that's gonna be a tough one. I don't really want to play them. So like the teams I don't want to play would be the Bucks, number 1, obviously, because they're just gonna dick everyone. Probably the Raptors next, and then some combination of the Celtics and the Heat. And then I would rather like my first choice would be the Sixers for obvious reasons, unless we like miraculously get up to like the 2 seed and have to play like the Magic or something.
My feelings about because like the Pacers have beat the Bucks pretty handily this year when Giannis wasn't playing. So I mean, best case scenario is I think if Giannis goes out, I don't think that. I mean, Chris Middleton's good and Eric Bledsoe, but I just don't.
Dude, what?
I don't even think I understand Giannis is amazing, but I think in the East, the best team, I think the Celtics will make the finals. I think they have too deep of a team. I think they'll make the finals. They'll beat
Dude, but the thing that like happened last time we played the Bucks is they just have like a forest of trees around the rim. They got they can put like 3 like dudes over 6'10" on the floor at like any time, and they basically they run you off the 3-point line, and then you have to like shoot mid-range jump shots, which for the Pacers they'll just do because it's the Pacers, but like that's what you want other teams to do. Like there's a reason no one takes mid-range 2-point jump shots anymore. It's because they're hard to make and they're worth the same number of points as a layup. Like it's the hardest 2-point shot you could take. And so like that's what happened against the Bucks last time we played. We lost by like 20, where like we literally could not get to the rim, and we also couldn't make shots. So if we can make shots, like you can force them to come out of that. But if you can't make shots, you're kind of fucked.
Well, we have pretty good mid-range. Well, what really sucks is Jeremy Lamb getting hurt because he could pretty much just shoot mid-range jumpers all day, and that sucks. T.J. Warren's a good scorer. Sabonis can hit anything within 3-point line pretty much. Brogdon disappoints me at times because there's games like I remember texting you about it. I don't know who we were playing. Very close game. Should have won it. And he turned the ball over 3 times within the last 2 minutes just because I don't know. And my problem with Oladipo is anytime I hear him talk, he just talks about how good he is and how hard of a worker he is. And Oladipo's a pretty good player. I don't think he thinks he's a Paul George though, or an elite shooting guard. I don't think he's there yet. And I think he needs to put his ego in check before he really starts playing. Because once he started playing they started playing worse than they did without him.
I could see that. I mean, he also is like a really hard worker, and you would say he's a very good player. Like he also only has played 10 games since he was out for a year.
Yeah.
So like the 8 games are gonna be kind of weird to think because you don't know, like, on the one hand, like a team could just come out of nowhere and just like pop off. On the other hand, it could just be like how everyone expects it to be. So like, but I mean, in other words, like the Jeremy Lamb getting hurt helps like clear up the rotations because there's going to be an odd person out, and now there can't be, at least not amongst like the 10 guys they got right now.
Because like our starting lineup is great. It's
yeah.
Oladipo, Warren, Sabonis, Turner, and then our second team is great. With Lamb, it would have been Lamb, McConnell, Holiday, McDermott, Justin Holiday, and that's
well, yeah, you would have had to pick between McConnell, Aaron Holiday, and Justin Holiday as who doesn't play, and that would have been tough because Aaron Holiday's played really, really well. I mean, really, you can see what they need to do is they have all these like guys that are above average, and they need to like swap out like 2 above average guys for a guy that's like all-star level. Like if you traded like Aaron Holiday and TJ Warren for like, I don't know, a 3 that's like all-star level, then like that is something that puts the Pacers at like a legit Eastern Conference Finals championship level team.
Get rid of you.
Well, I just think that they're one, like if their prongs right now are like Brogdon / Oladipo and then Turner and Sabonis, they need one guy. Like Warren can put up 18 a game, but it's also like TJ Warren. It's not like Jimmy Butler. I'm not saying trade for Jimmy Butler because that wouldn't happen, but like borderline all-star level that you can swap for like 2 above average guys. Like I don't know who that would be off the top of my head, but it's kind of like trading Al Harrington for Stephen Jackson in 2004, where like they traded like a really good 6-man for a guy that ended up and started up playing that year and coming out to the Palace at like an all-star level, and they had like Jermaine O'Neal, Ron Artest, and Stephen Jackson. So like I just think that it could work the way they're doing it, but I feel like we've done this before, where like they're like really solid across the board, and they got one guy, and what happens is like they just end up doubling Oladipo or whoever, and they just the rest of the team just can't quite make it up. I just think they need one more guy.
I think the 30 Pacers starting lineup is better. It's just this bench is so much better than that team. If that team had this team's bench, they would have been so good. Because the problem with that team was as soon as the starters would go out, you'd have like the only good backup guy they had was pretty much Louis Scola. And other than that was like Louis Amundsen and Jan Mahinmi.
Dude, Louis Scola, he just looked kind of nasty, honestly. Some dirty hair. Looks like he never washed his hair, honestly.
I like TJ McConnell way better than Aaron Holiday. Aaron Holiday's a good scorer, and he's fearless, but it's almost Lance Stevenson fearless, but not in a good way. And
I think he has all the good of Lance, none of the bad, in my opinion. Like, he doesn't do dumb shit. And he also can McConnell can't shoot is his thing. He literally cannot shoot. There's been times where he's been left, like, literally with no one within 15 feet of him.
Yeah. Someone just
like that's the thing about like the McConnell Holiday thing. It's like they're both really good and they both have like individual strengths, and you gotta get everyone's minutes have to go down to make it work, which means that like you can't like your best units are gonna have to play together less, or like you gotta figure it out some other way. But I don't know. I'm glad that like basketball's come back because I'm gonna lose my fucking mind here. Like there is nothing happening.
I'm sad that baseball's not on. I probably
Dude, it's the fucking owners. They're fucking rich So here's what's happened. The players have agreed to take prorated salaries, meaning that if they get paid $10 million for 162 games and they play 81, so they play half a season, they get $5 million. So basically, whatever percent of the season they play, that's the percentage of the salary they'll take. And like, since they're obviously going to play like probably half a season, they've already cut their salaries in half. Well, the owners keep coming up with these like dog shit proposals where like they'll play 47% of the games, but they'll get 35% of their salaries. And so like the owners came with like a 40 season game and like bigger playoffs, and the players were like they originally wanted like 110 games with bigger playoffs, and so the players just countered back with like I think it was like 85 games, so it was basically half a season with like a expanded playoffs, and like that's like a legit compromise. Like the owners should just take that right now. Like that's you could have agreed to that like on March 1st, just half the season. Like the players already taking a big pay cut. No one's they've taken that pay cut. It's like why? And also like think about this. Like the owners have been dicking the players the last like years with like the Chris Bryant shit with the service time manipulation. Like why would you expect them to be like bending over backwards to do you favors right now?
Yeah. It just sucks how they screw the Cubs.
Yeah, dude. And the problem is like the arbiter, like it went to arbitration, and the arbiter said it was like okay, which means that there's definitely gonna be a strike now after next season. Like that's the thing is you can't just like look at like this stuff in like a vacuum. Like if stand like if the owners are crying poor, like I heard the owner of I forget who it was. It was some owner the other day. It might have been the Cubs owner. He was like, yeah, owning a baseball team is not very profitable.
Yeah.
And like if you're gonna like say that shit and then like not show the players like your accounting books, like because they like kind of refuse to do that too. Like why would they ever trust you? But also like that's just so dumb because like the Royals got bought in 1999 for like it was like under $100 million, and they got sold last year for like almost $1 billion.
My
like,
dad.
If it's not profitable, why does it keep going up in price?
My dad said the same thing happened to the Reds, however many years ago. It's like they were something like that, and then they were worth like $3 or $4 billion now. So it's it was odd.
You watched the draft at all?
Yeah, I did watch some of it. Like the late first round, me and my dad were hoping like that one thing where it was like small market teams get an extra pick. We were hoping the Reds, but they didn't.
The competitive balance round.
We were waiting for that.
Do you see who they took at 11?
Yeah, Hendricks, is that his name?
You know, he's been like he was like the number one recruit in that class in high school since he's like 14. And like he hits like nukes.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like a lefty. And so like it looks like he's got like a bunch of power, like can play like probably gonna have to play right field or left field, but like might swing and miss a bit, but like it's just absolute like nukes.
Yeah.
And then the White Sox might have taken Chris Sale 2.0. They took a big 6'6" lefty from Tennessee that during the quarantine has popped 101. They got this nasty slider. And they took a like an enormous dude from Texas. He's from Nolan Ryan's high school, like 6'3", 230, throws like 99. Like just if you imagine the pitcher from Texas, that'd be like the pitcher next to it.
Yeah.
Dude, baseball drafts are weird because like
they cut it down 800%. It went from 150 players. It went from like 2,000, 2,100 to 160. I'm like, oh my gosh.
It went from 40 rounds to 5.
Yeah.
And you can't sign it. Like the max signing bonus you can offer someone not drafted is like $20,000. So like if I didn't get drafted, I'd be like, fuck this. I'm not coming. I'm going back to school. I'm gonna go play in Korea.
Signing bonuses are like millions of dollars. Giving them $20,000.
And that's what I'm saying. They're cheap. Dude, if the owners wanted to figure out how to make baseball better, this is what you do. This is Hugh's 3 solutions you could do right now. Stop with the like market blackout bullshit. The state of Iowa, you're blacked out on MLB TV from 6 teams. Ready? Cubs, White Sox, Brewers, Cardinals, Royals, Twins. None of those are in the state of Iowa, and you can't watch them on TV. That is dumb as hell. Second proposal. Stop making it so fucking expensive to go to a baseball game. for a family of 4, it cost on average like $110, including parking, like 4 hot dogs and like 4 drinks and like tickets, like not expensive tickets, like tickets in the outfield. $110. Like that's not sustainable. And then like 3, like just put the games on fucking TV and stop shitting on the players.
Yeah.
Like a third of like the Dodgers, second biggest media market in the United States, only 1/3 of LA can get the Dodgers on TV. Like that is dumber than hell. And it's because they got like some exclusive like TV deal, but like you can literally only watch the Dodgers on TV if you have Comcast. Like not everyone's gonna stream on Reddit. Like, do you want like it's like they're trying to actively like sabotage the sport. And then like the people like John Smoltz, who's like a great pitcher and everything, but he just like takes a dump on like young players like every time when like they bat flip or like they like show any emotion like this. That just like annoys the hell out of me.
Do you agree with people when they say baseball's dying?
It's trending the wrong way. I mean, the average fan of baseball now is like a 50-year-old white dude.
Yeah.
And like part of it is just it's expensive as hell to play. Like they need to bring back basically like Sandlot. Like it should be a game where like you just pick up a stick and a rock and hit it. Like that's the thing. Like someone's making this point about golf, about how like golf is only about like when you think of golf, you think of like basically rich white people play it at like country clubs, and how like country clubs have like turned a game that was started in Scotland where you're literally hitting a ball with a piece of wood, and have turned it into this like elitist game where like it really wasn't that until like the 70s. Like working class people played golf and like up until like the 70s and 80s, and they got like you gotta go to country clubs and shit to play. Same thing with baseball. You gotta play like all these like travel leagues, and like you gotta pay $3,000 to like go to Florida to get in front of scouts. Like, well, why do we make it so hard? Like think about this today. Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Willie Stark, or the first baseman for the Pirates back in like the 60s and whatever. There's like 9 or 10. I think Bob Gibson too. There's like 9 or 10 black players from like the 60s and 70s, and they're all from Alabama. Like you can make like a team from Alabama from the 60s and 70s where they're all like elite Hall of Famers. Like not like Hall of Famers, like no one play baseball today. They'll be playing football. And like baseball just keeps shooting itself in the dick for no reason.
Exactly what you said. Baseball's become almost, I don't know much about travel basketball because I quit playing when I was 14, but I think like our age, when we were, because at least for me when I was young, from like 5 to 12, 5 to 10 or 11, it was still pretty much just we're playing for fun, we're playing for the good of the sport. And then I think once we hit junior high, that's when all of the like we're going to pay $800, we're going to pay $3,000 to be on a travel team. And it's become this sport to where it'll just root out anyone that isn't amazing. They're just like, we don't want you playing at all. And I think that's like what you said. It needs to go back to just like Sandlot. We're playing under the fireworks on the 4th of July. And I think that's why it's like what you were saying. That's what part of my issues with MLB today. It feels way too like branded and marketable. And they're trying to make, because no baseball player is going to be like an icon like LeBron or Michael Jordan or something. It's just very rare for baseball. So when they try to,
it's now. It didn't used to be that way. Yeah. Like baseball was the biggest sport in the country until the 90s. Like 94 kind of did it in. It like turned people off, which is like is there blame on both sides? Yes, like there should, but like at the same point, like the owners have been driving this like conflict by like just like straight up like when you fuck with the service time and you just like blatantly lie like, oh, he's in AAA for 2 weeks to work on defense, which is also precisely the time that we need him to be down to avoid like accruing a full year unless we get like an extra year on the back of his contract. Like when you just like fuck with people's contracts like that, like just blatantly, and like everyone knows what you're doing, like it's gonna set up people to be hostile. And dude, one of my biggest pet peeves is like, and it's sort of understandable because like they're all millionaires, or a lot of them are millionaires, but like people who like bitch at like players, but it's like it's millionaires versus billionaires, but they always focus on the millionaire part, they never focus on the billionaire part. Like they don't realize like who is like the labor here, like quote unquote, like in like this situation, which makes sense because like you identify with like your team, and like your team happens to be like the owners. But it's just frustrating. Like they could have agreed in March to play 81 games. They'll take half their pay cut. Like that's a reasonable. Like they're gonna lose money either way. Might as well like do it in like a pretty equitable way, where like at least you get something.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
remember
know.
like last year or the year before, they were talking about playing less games. And I don't know I think 162 is fine. I sort of like the grind of it. It's just like it's a slower sport. I sort of like they just play much. But because it is less strenuous, but it'd still be taxing. And they asked Joey Votto about it. They're like, what do you think about less in games? He's like, oh yeah, I think we should play more, like 200. And just keep going up. I just want to keep playing more. Yeah,
I think people would like start to get really hurt if you did that.
for sure.
Like they probably should drop it to like
Only 100.
140, 130, something like that. Like they only have like 3 or 4 off days a month.
Yeah.
Like if they played like they played Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Like I feel like that would be like a pretty so 8 games in 14 days. Like I feel like that'd be pretty like you playing regularly and like or like you play a series and then you have like 2 days off in between. Or like you have a day off after every series or whatnot. But I think part of it is like baseball is a different pace than other sports. Like you're not going to an NBA game to relax. I think one of like the joys of like baseball is like going to like even like going to the Indians game downtown. Like you buy a $10 ticket, you get like a recently priced hot dog. Like you get a beer, you sit out in the sun, like you just kind of enjoy the summer.
Yeah.
Like and like that's part of the charm of baseball. But like if it's so expensive or like it's going to cost you like $50 to do that, like if you told someone for $20 you can get in, you get a beer and you get a hot dog, and you sit here for a couple hours, just like sit in the sun, tan, people would do that. But like they put up so many barriers to like just like people enjoying it.
I'm so sad because I'm afraid it's like one of my favorite thing to do in the summer because we usually go to like one Reds game a year, maybe two. It's just like you said, Friday night, 7 o'clock game, the sun setting on like the Ohio River, beautiful. It's just it's just relaxing. That's why I feel like basketball game you want to pay attention to, but it's like you said, baseball you got about 3, maybe 4 hours just to sit there and watch it, depending on the pace of the game.
It's just like the atmosphere of it too. Like I don't know, it's a very like summer sport. Like I don't know. That's and it's got like so much unique stuff. Like especially like food wise.
Hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of just like common sense stuff that like they just like don't do. But then also like a lot of it is a lot of the problems in this world are literally just access.
Hmm.
Like I think about for baseball, like they're making all these like technological advantages. Like you can like basically design pitches now based off like the spin rate, like these high speed cameras that can like watch it come off your fingers and like tell you like, oh, if you like shift your fingers like a quarter inch this way, like on the grip, like maybe that will like make it more efficient, make it drop more. Like all this stuff that's like teams are doing now and like all this data that like helps them make decisions. You only do it at like certain facilities that like cost a lot of money to go to. Like that's part of it. It's just it's harder to measure. Like I think baseball is just more quantifiable than like basketball. Like basketball, you can obviously quantify like height, like weight, vertical arm span. Like baseball, you can quantify like exit velocity, pitching velocity, spin rate, like and like really even more like really mundane like data. And like while it like really helps, it also like makes it like you have to go to like very specific places to like have access to that. And like that just makes it harder.
It goes back to it makes it harder for people to be good at because it's just getting harder and harder to be elite at baseball. It's just probably
It costs money.
probably more than any sport that baseball has progressed to where because it's like my dad said 2005 Brad Lidge was throwing 95 and everyone's like, oh man, look at this guy. Every starter today has to throw 95 or they're not very good. mean,
The average fastball gone from like 89 to like 93 from like since then.
yeah. That, people say they don't like baseball because it's boring. I understand that. It is boring a lot. Like, I get it. But if you know what's going, like me and you, we understand what's going on. We know all the little intricacies, or as my old coach used to say, the game within the game. There's just all this other stuff that you can focus on and know, like, oh, like, just stuff like that. But
dude, but even like they're terrible. They're absolutely dog shit at marketing stuff. The like everyone, think about everyone that's good in baseball. Like they're all under 30. A lot of them are under 25. Like Trout is turning 28 this year. Man might be like the greatest player of all time by the time he's done. Like he could be in the Hall of Fame right now. He literally has more wins by replacement in his career than Derek Jeter had in his entire career.
Yeah.
Who also has, I will die on this hill, is the most overrated person of all time.
Love that because I don't like.
But like Yelich is 27, Bellinger is 26, Baez is 25. Like Harper is 29. Like they have like the best players in MLB are like in their 20s, and they're terrible at marketing them. They're absolutely horrendous. Part of it is there's no game that like MLB The Show they're finally bringing to Xbox next year, but like there literally was no baseball video game.
Great, because MLB 2K is terrible.
It stopped in 2014 too. That's the last one I've had. I haven't like played it since. Dude, they're so bad at marketing shit. Honest to God.
Especially like last year at the All-Star. First off, I hate Bryce Harper. You know this. They have Bryce Harper on like all of the like the All-Star game pamphlets. Doesn't even make the All-Star game. That's awesome. That's freaking great. And he goes to the Phillies, and the Nationals win the World Series the year after he leaves. It was perfect. Oh, perfect.
Think about this though. So you know how you used to be able to like hand check in the NBA in like the 80s, and once they took that away, it like became a lot harder to play defense, and the scoring went up. Like I don't know if you watched The Last Dance, but there were some of those like playoff games where like the score was like 76 to 85. Like that must have been an excruciating game to watch. And like now the average NBA score is like 105 to like 115, and it's just more entertaining. Yeah, I think the same thing might happen if like people didn't like beat each other if they had bat flipped off them. Like if you hit someone and it was off a bat flip, they just assumed it was intentional. You get an automatic like 3 start penalty, like not 3 games where like like the pitcher misses 1 game and like sits out 4 others that are not going to play in anyway. Like if you took away like the threat of beating, maybe like you just gotta make it a little bit more lively, like allow more action. Maybe you like deaden the ball a bit so it's more in play. But I don't know. It's a solvable problem too. Like the Dominican, it's still like it was in the United States. Like they play like street ball.
Yeah, that's why a lot of them come over here and they're good, just because they have like natural talent they developed themselves. That's why it's good.
Even like weighted balls, they just throw softballs, or they throw like, like fruit or whatever, rocks. Like that's how people. And baseball is just throwing stuff and trying to hit it. Like it's no different than like basketball trying to throw a ball through a hoop, or soccer trying to kick a ball into a net. Like it's not a complicated concept.
I think the misconception of baseball is that you have to be like this super amazing athlete. I mean, it definitely helps be a great athlete. Don't get me wrong. But David Ortiz was borderline obese, and he's probably the greatest DH of all time. Doesn't matter as much in baseball.
I'd say Frank Thomas, but
yeah, Frank Thomas as well. Yeah.
Dude, Frank Thomas is like criminally underrated, but I get your point. Like Bartolo Colon,
yeah,
bad as fuck. Still like
an
elite pitcher early in his career, and then was just like super. He was like the Vince Carter of baseball in a lot of ways. He just kept going.
It's like if you're lucky, you can play baseball forever. If you don't have any terrible injuries, you can play forever.
Especially if you're a pitcher.
Tim Wakefield throws like 50.
Dude, Jamie Moyer pitching almost till he's 50.
How old did he get?
What? Did he what?
How old did Jamie Moyer get?
He got into his mid-40s. I want to say like 44, 46, but it wasn't like, oh, he's turning 40 this year. It's like, no, he's like been 40 for a while. Like he's like, he'll be 50 in a couple years.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, this is supposed to be our year too. It's so fucking cursed.
They're
Fucking sign like, yes, Manny Grandal, Dallas Keuchel, like Lucas Giolito goes from like the worst pitcher in baseball last year to an all-star. Yohan Moncada like is like a top 5 third baseman last year after leading like baseball in strikeouts year before. Like this is gonna be our fucking year. Like we're like the Indians are like falling off. They traded Kluber. Like the Twins are still gonna be there, but like we got like a decent shot at making the playoffs. And now like this shit happens.
It's funny because it's like, even though the White Sox won the World Series like 15 years ago, it's like your White Sox all have worse luck than the Reds do. The Reds just get good players that don't perform, and it makes me mad. They'll go from being one of the best hitting teams in baseball with terrible pitching, and then just switch that. They have really good rotation, and no one can bat above 295. Everyone's like 240. I don't know.
Dude, not even the batting average. I don't know why like there's not like 5 dudes in the Reds that hit 30 home runs. Like playing in that ballpark,
I don't know.
you should have like at least 4 or 5 dudes hitting at least 25 bombs. In today's baseball,
in 2018 or 2018, we had 5 or 6 players hit 25 plus. Scooter Gennett. It was 2017. Scooter Gennett, Joey Votto, Scott Schebler, Suarez, Adam Duvall. Maybe just 5. Maybe just those 5. But like we were great. Like Joey Votto lost the MVP by a few votes.
yeah.
Thing is, our pitching was terrible. Like Joey Votto said, that was the best career I've ever had. That's like best career I've ever had. The best season I've ever had. And we terrible. Didn't even make the playoffs because our freaking pitching is horrendous.
So you got like Bauer, Sonny Gray. You like all these like you have a bunch of good pitching now.
We had 2. We had Castillo. Castillo and Gray made the All-Star team. We got Sonny Gray. We have another one. We have another decent one. I swear we got. I don't remember. I don't know. Someone decent.
No, but you signed dude. You're kind of in the same boat that we are. You signed Moustakas and Castellanos this year.
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, no, Central's off this year because like everyone but the Pirates is in it.
That's like preseason. Like when I was looking at preseason rankings, they said like it's pretty much anyone's game. Like the Reds are coming in; they have a pretty good. Like out of the 4, they said besides the Pirates, they said the Reds probably have the least likely chance, but they could still make the play, easily win the Central.
I mean, the Brewers lost Grandal, who, in my opinion, are the best or the second best catcher in baseball. Like, they still got Yelich, and like, they got their dudes, but like, I'd rather be the Reds or the Cardinals, probably. I mean, I guess the Brewers could always trade for someone. That's gonna be weird. I wonder how trades are gonna work this year if there are any.
Like the Reds are going after Grandal. I know they were.
Yeah, no, Grandal chose the White Sox over the Reds and like one other team maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just want to like, they should just agree to like split the season in half. They take half the salaries, like they split the revenue 50-50, extra team or 2 in the playoffs. Like, just make it. They should expand their playoffs like anyway, because baseball playoffs are already the hardest to make. But I mean, yeah, they should just like get it done.
I think the playoffs, the first 2 rounds, like the first round and the semis, should be cut to 5 games, because the NBA playoffs take up pretty much all of April, all of May, and then sometimes half of June. That is such a long playoffs. They need to cut them, they either need to cut the amount of playoff teams down. I guess they'd have to go to 4, maybe 6. I guess they have 6 and they have in games. But my God, NBA playoffs are fun to watch and great, but man, they take a long time to get through.
Dude, MLB kind of blew a chance to be like the only team on TV though. If they'd figured this out in like May, and they had like started like about now, they'd had 6 weeks where they're like the only show on TV. Like they've been televising Korean baseball, but I haven't seen any of it because the games are at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna be up at 5 a.m. to watch. Like Korean baseball is good, and
Yeah, no,
it's actually kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting because it's completely different like game there. It's like a different atmosphere, but like
it's a
I'm
lot
not waking up at 5 a.m. to watch it.
of slapping singles and small ball. Like they all pretty much tried to replicate each year. Like the Reds signed like some 30-year-old from either.
Eastern Japan.
Yeah,
It's like it starts with an A. I forget his name.
I think he'll be good though. I mean, because we've had good experience with we had who was it, Shin Soo Choo. He was great for the Reds. I think he went like 5 years of being average. He was All Star, 5 years of average, made the All Star team in like 2017. It's funny how that works.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Dude, the weird thing is the Olympics for baseball. Like part of it is just I was about to say that like they postponed them for a year, but in order to make the Olympics like actually like truly competitive for baseball, you would have to have Puerto Rico play on their own.
Yeah.
Because if you let Puerto Rico and the United States play together, it's over. Like they have backups that are like MLB All Stars.
Yeah.
Because like if Puerto Rico, like if we're gonna rank like the tiers, like it'd be the U.S., Puerto Rico, like those are U.S. is probably better, but like Puerto Rico is still like really really good, and then probably Cuba, Venezuela, Japan, Mexico, Colombia, Dominican.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just like not many teams that are like legit. Korea is probably Taiwan. Does Taiwan even play in the Olympics?
I have no idea. I don't know. I have no clue.
Did you hear about that shit in Hong Kong?
Recently?
Yeah, like the last couple months.
I mean, I knew there was protests, but I didn't hear of anything new.
No, Hong Kong's like done. Like Hong Kong is like now part of China. They put in like a national security law. So basically, what happened is they had like protests last year, and then they had elections in November. So the protests last year were over like an extradition bill, where people could be like extradited for like just normal crimes to China. Anyway, there were like millions of people in the street. They had an election last November. Turnout like 75% of people in Hong Kong voted, and like the Communist Party or like the Communist like pro China Party lost like 250 seats in their parliament, got absolutely like annihilated. Anyway, so what they did this time is they used like coronavirus. They did it like under like the veil of coronavirus, and they went into like the one of like the councils there, and literally just like with like bodyguards, like these dudes in suits and masks. They kicked out all the pro-democracy legislators and elected a new like head of the council or whatever. And they passed this national security law that says you can be like it bans seceding from China or becoming like an independent country, and it makes it a crime to riot or to be under a foreign influence, aka protests.
Wow.
So yeah, Hong Kong as we know it, it's over, which is unfortunate. But like the U.S. is also dropping the ball because what the U.K. is doing is they're basically like, so the Hong Kong left the U.K. in 1997. It's supposed to be like one country, two systems until 2047. So people who like were born before 1997 have a British passport. Essentially, they have like a British overseas national passport, whatever. The UK has basically like upgraded those, and so they're like, if you have this passport or someone in your family has this passport, you can come to the UK, and like within 3 years you can be a citizen. And the US should have done this because what it forces China to either lock them down and not let anyone leave, or let everyone leave, and then they just look like an idiot. And plus, like Hong Kong, like there's nothing you wouldn't want from them. Like a lot of money, very like pro business, super invested in society. Like they've been protesting and voting and shit. Whoever lets them in, you'd probably have millions of people that would like vote for them forever. Like it's interesting. You know what? One of the only ethnic minority groups that is pro-Republican to this day because of the circumstances that come over in. Vietnamese Americans
Oh, yeah.
are like the only ethnic minorities that are like they voted like 65% Republican, even with Trump, because Ford and Nixon were the ones to bring him back. So they've been like if Trump brought him over people from Hong Kong, I guarantee they vote Republican for like at least a generation. And we make China look like a bitch because all the people just leave.
Yeah.
Like that's what, if you really want to fuck with China, literally this is what you do. You tell anyone who's in China or Hong Kong or Macau, you can come here and you can like basically integrate here. And like we'll let like the people pick where they want to be. Do they want to stay like in China or they want to come like to the United States and like be able to like drive cars and shit?